All right, so I've got a little bit of a confession to make. I haven't really been active on here since the spring, really doing music stuff, and largely that's because something new has come into my life that has kind of just taken over um, most of my free mental space and has taken a lot of time away from all of my toys here. Um, and I'll just show you. I'm not very good at. Let's see if I can angle this right. If you know, you know. I am completely obsessed. I don't know what has gotten into me, but the whole world of finance and day trading and TradFi and everything is just like completely taken over all the free time that I have. I've been in like just total student mode the last 6-7 months, just trying to absorb and learn as much as I can. Um, and learn about price action and Wyckoff theory and doing all my back testing and stuff, and then live testing, and slowly started to scale live trades over the last couple of months. And it's gone good and then bad. I'm doing really low risk trades right now. The most 50, usually $30 risks. And I'm using kind of a legal, but not it's not illegal, but it's not legal either in the United States. It's called KCEX. I'm not going to put that up here. You can look into that. But it allows me to use a lot of leverage and basically only risk like $1 if I want per trade, which from what I've read is what you should do, because 90% of people lose, and you're going to definitely lose in the beginning. So you might as well lose cheap and think of it as your tuition while you learn the market. So I don't know why my brain likes this. I've always enjoyed like, I've never been a math guy, but I like geometry and shapes and just recognizing patterns. And there's a certain like fractal nature to how the market works that's really interesting to me. And there's so many ways you can express yourself in the market. You know, you can trade on a 1 minute time frame, a 5 minute, a 15 minute, a 30 minute, an hour. You can swing trade, you know, the day chart. So it just depends on how much time you have to commit. But I like trading on a 5 minute chart. If I have a free day, like if I'm just off and I've got a few hours, I'll get on the 5 minute chart because things are moving faster. And yeah, it's really fun. So this video's already been how long? Jesus, this is gonna be a long video. So that's kind of what's been going on with me, like since the spring. Really, it just kind of, I stumbled across it somehow, and I've just been all into it, knee deep. And then so last Tuesday I was in a kind of intense but not intense car wreck. I was T-boned at an intersection going to work. Lady just blew through a red light and hit me. All my airbags went off, and I walked out of the car completely okay. The lady took fault. I'm doing the whole insurance game. I'm okay. But like my adrenaline was just, I've never been in a serious wreck, and I feel so blessed and just lucky to like, I'm totally fine. I had a little bit of a headache and my back was tight for like a day, and then I was fine. So I just, for like the whole week, I was just like, you know, what the fuck is the point of all this? Why am I working so hard trying to learn this, you know, skill that I can leverage to make money so I don't have to keep working in radiology my entire life, when you could just die tomorrow, you know? And it really made me remember, and I've had this inner knowing. My soul's been telling me for a while that I need to spend more time getting back into music, because it's what brings out the childlike just joy in me. And like the time, it's the one thing where time just like dissolves into nothing and just flies by. And I have so much fun, and I was doing events for a while around town for a couple years. And then I got tired of looking at my shit all around town. It's a lot of work to pack up all this stuff and lug it around town for a little bit of money when it was never about money. I have a good job. I just love doing it and sharing it. It brings me so much joy. I wanted to share it with other people, but it started to take up more time than I wanted it to. And I got a new job that was also paying me a lot more than I was used to. And that took up a lot of time. And I just kind of got away from this. And I feel so lucky to be completely okay and have, basically brand new 24 Prius. They made the new Priuses look pretty good. I don't know if you've seen them. But I had a 24 Prius, paid off, and it's totaled now. That sucks. But like considering everything, I feel very just lucky to have come away from that like unscratched. And I'm totally just rambling and going off the cuff with this, but one of my I guess creative flaws has always been that like I'm really good at starting ideas, and I think a lot of musicians can probably speak to this. I have a lot of ideas and riffs that kind of come to mind, and then nothing happens. I put no structure to it, and it just turns into this idea that I never shared or completed. I get squirrely. I think I have like ADHD musically, because I'll have a little bit that I'm doing, and then I'm like, oh, I need a bass line for that. And then I'll go searching through, I got to find the perfect bass line for it. I've already spent hours going through and favoriting all my favorite basses. So I'll go try to find a bass line, but then as I'm doing that, I'll two other ideas come to head, and I have to put that down real quick. And so, I like to work with my hands. I've always been a hardware person. Using the mouse and clicking around in a DAW has always felt kind of weird to me. I have a loop station. I have this drum machine that I can use to sample anything. I sampled that tongue drum over there, which was one of the first instruments I ever got. I sampled it in here, and I can play it in here, but these are typically used for drum machines. And then I have this, little keyboard here to use as a MIDI controller for this. It's really great because I can get an idea started really quickly. It's great for like live stuff, or if I just want to sit down and, have fun. It's so easy to get an idea going, but it's really hard to actually put structure and finish a project with hardware, especially when it comes to mixing all of your sounds and ideas together to make sure everything, you don't want the bass to be too loud or the vocals to be too quiet. To get everything to sound really good, usually you need to take it into software, a DAW, digital audio workstation like Logic or Ableton, to really fine tune all of that. And I've never really done a big deep dive into DAWs. I have one, I have Logic, and I've used it in the past for certain things, but I've never really felt comfortable in there. And so basically what I'm trying to say is I'm going to start to take all of these ideas that I've had for a while and the new ones that come to mind and put structure to them and start to share my music on Spotify. So I've had a Spotify since I think 2023, maybe 2020. I think it was 2023. I put one song on there, and I didn't really tell anyone about it, and I never put anything else on there. So I was more trying to, record like sound bath videos and do YouTube videos type stuff. So yeah, this is a cool little kit. The really fun thing about this machine is I can sample an instrument like my tongue drum over there onto here. Sounds cool. I added a reverb to it. But I only have those 8 notes. But with the software, I can change this note, and I can modulate it up or down, and then create like the next 2 notes in the scale. So if I wanted like a 10-note tongue drum, I would have to get a 10-note tongue drum. But I have an 8-note that I sampled, and if I want the next 2 notes in the scale, I can just modulate it on here. So I can then have and then if I wanted 2 other notes that are like maybe outside of the scale to give it color or contrast or tension, I can add that. And then all of a sudden it gives it this cool little bridge contrast feel. So this is a really cool machine. Whoops. So I'm going to make some lo-fi groovy stuff with the tongue drum. I think that's going to be the first little project I put on Spotify. So I'll put a link in my bio when that's done. I'm going to record that today, probably tomorrow. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed story time. I had no direction where I was going with that. I just kind of sat down and hit the record button. But there's just been a lot of stuff on my mind that I kind of wanted to share with you guys. So I'll leave it at that and stay tuned for the tongue drum groove. All right, bye.